Hello everybody. Today it's very nice for me to see you all of you. Yeah, so today I'm gonna talk about my university life. Actually, I would say, just 5 months ago I was very complicated because I studied many subjects that I was not very good at. I would say those four subjects which were major of high school would say there was such physics, mathematics, chemistry and biology. I could tell you that those four subjects made me feel very disappointed. And I would like to tell you that at a time I just felt very exhausted of studying those kind of subjects because in the class there were so many students and there were a few students sitting behind me and those girls were actually very good at chemistry, biology and math as well as physics. And at that time, I would say, I was just very good at English, but only English was not enough for me because those subjects were very important before they take the national exam of grade 12, which is called the baccalaureate. And for me, I think it's not very important to know English only during high school life. But actually now I'm very happy because I don't have to use those four major subjects like high school like before. But I would say now it's very majestic for me to study at university because I have to use only my expertise. It is absolutely English. And relevant to this subject, I would like to tell you that everyday life I really enjoy watching TV, especially the Bloomberg, the BBC, and the CNN. I would say, the Bloomberg is the best source for you to practice listening because I think if you are not very good at listening, you have to practice watching the Bloomberg, the BBC, as well as the CNN, or you watch the news channel News Asia. Because in Channel News Asia, newscasters are supposed to be Asians. I mean, you just listen to that speakers. I mean, they're actually the native speakers. They're actually the second language learner. For example, English language learner. They speak English like native speakers. But in my high school, university, I mean, my classmates, they don't actually speak English very well. But I would say they had passed the F1 training exam, so their English must be very good. So I don't believe that their English are much inferior to me. And for me in the class, I would say I don't know that even though I know that speaking ability is not really it's not really good, but I believe that I still don't have to flaunt. I mean, I don't have to show off my speaking ability because in class I just want to hide a little bit. I just want to conceal a little bit because I think it's very important too for me to be modest about my success because everybody knew for sure that I passed the I-4 entrance exams too. But I still believe about my qualities because, oh sorry, I still have to believe in my quality because I think it's not very nice. The most important thing for me now is to be fluent in English because speaking is the best part. If you study in some universities, speaking is the best one. I mean, if somebody wants to know you, the most important thing is that when you speak English to them, they actually know how good your English is. And mostly speaking is very important for the world because if you can speak English, you can communicate with people around the world, throughout the globe, with something that you don't know, you can just use this second language as your language. And your first language you speak from your mother tongue, so your second language is actually English. And I just want to add more details, but it's not actually about everyone. It's not actually relevant to English only. I would say Spanish also because I think Spanish is also a very good language to learn because I think Spanish is a popular language in the West. And American Latino. I would say Latin American. They mostly speak Spanish because I think 90% of American people they speak Spanish as their first language. It means that when they were born, they actually spoke a language from their mother tongue. I can give you a few examples of Spanish because when Spanish people go to visit many American countries, I would say in the American continent such as Argentina or Costa Rica, Mexico. When they go there, they have to speak any other language or they have to speak English because when they go there, they can speak their first language. As you know, Spanish people speak Spanish as their first language. And also Argentina, which are supposed to be speaking Spanish as their first language too, because I would say in the past, Spain colonized many countries in the West, so this is the reason why those countries use language like Spanish as their official language. So today I'm gonna talk more about my routine habits because I just think that when I just reach university life, I'm always thinking about my future because what I really have to do is to be very good at English. In class, I don't know what to do. But absolutely, I believe in my qualities because what I really have to do is to learn more at home. I would say you still think for yourself the best, and as well as for me too. If wanting to stay ahead of others in the class, as well, like you learn in some university, you don't know how good that English is. You just try to do your best. I mean, when you go home, you read the textbooks. You also do a lot more research at home, especially watching the Bloomberg in order to be near to listening in English. So it's very easy for you to communicate with people as well as understanding their language too. If you can only speak to them, so if they don't understand when they speak to you, it's very difficult, and that is called overall communication. And my last thing relevant to my speech today is about my entertainment. I would say in every Friday and Saturday night, I mostly entertain myself because I don't just learn it every time. I also have to relax. I have to take time to relax because learning a lot doesn't make me feel so good because I know that I love learning, but actually I have to think about myself too. Don't just learn it every time, you know. And I believe in my quality as well as thinking about my future jobs because I think studying at IFO is actually very important and it's very I would say IFO is the best qualitative school because IFO IFO directors they only want the best quality students to study at that school. It means the students who are very proficient in English. It means they could pass the IFO entrance exam. It means that they are very good at using English and they're gonna be teachers of English in the future. But for me, it's a little bit different from because in my class, yeah, in my lecture actually, nobody really knows Spanish because I think my third language is really uncharted in here, and I believe that most students in IFL, I mean most first year students at IFL, they don't actually know Spanish. I think except me because I feel very strange to myself that IFL students who could study at first year they don't actually speak Spanish. They don't even know what Spanish is. They don't know how to say how are you in Spanish too. And I believe that those guys will be very good at other languages such as Chinese and French because I think two other languages that have been mentioned were also very great languages in the world because I think those languages are actually spoken in Cambodia as well as any other countries close to our nation. And I think that Chinese is not really, it's not really easy to study because one thing relevant to Chinese difficulty to Chinese eligibility is that Chinese has no alphabet. If you can understand the text, you will find it difficult. I mean, if you still, although you understand it, you will find difficult. Why? Why is it difficult for you? Because you have to understand that writing of, sorry, the Chinese writing is not very easy. Even you write by your hand, you write usually it's very difficult for you. So you have to think about the structure of writing as well. So today my speech has gone so long, relevant to my study at university because the topic that I really wish to talk about is only my university life. Let me just add more for my detail before going to the conclusions. And I would say my university life now is a thousand times better than my high school life, which when I was very complicated with those four subjects as mentioned in the beginning. Like you know that four subjects are very important too, but however for me they don't sound majestic to me. Yeah, they don't sound majestic to me and maybe to my friend too because my friend probably he also told me that he was not very good at them and he actually wanted to study math too, but I just congratulated him for going for sorry, I just congratulated him for going to study math in the future because he also wants to study abroad too because he needs to get a scholarship for his future studying abroad. And I would say that it's not really a bad idea to study math because it takes time for them to understand. Because when I learned in high school, math was the most difficult subject, and as well as being complicated, that most of the students really avoid studying math because they only want to study linguistic like me. Because I have known many things relevant to learning science, scientific subjects like biology, physics, math, and chemistry. Because those subjects are actually requiring you to understand the figures because figures are the best part, are the best part of learning scientific subjects. So I just don't want to add more relevant to scientific subject because I'm not really interested in it. But if you want to be an engineer, so it's very important for you to be very good at physics and math. You have to make sure that you are able to use them in the future because you will be need to ask for more information relevant to those two subjects that you are going to learn. And so far, I would say English is not a very normal language for me now because I have a few things to tell relevant to my I would say my modesty because in class I told my friend that my English is not very good because something that I just want to keep it I mean to keep it secretively. Even though I learn English, I also wanted to learn secretively. Hey, I have something to tell more relevant to this too. You know, before I started studying at IFO, I had an idea of studying secretively because I also posted status and my quote that I liked the most said the secrecy of success is to study something or to know something that nobody else knows. And it's not really different from the philosophy of my sociological teacher that teach me, yeah, sorry, that taught me last morning in the second session. Oh, sorry, my first, yeah, in the first session that I hold. He just, I would say his philosophy said that no one knows everything, but everything that we know must be clear, must be concise when you have to know that thing very much. Because I think this speech is not very necessary to all the students in Cambodia as well as foreign students in the world. Because I think when someone says this, it means someone is not very perfect at something. I would say, for example, is he is not very good at using English. For example, he is very good at English already, but he still makes mistakes. So whenever he makes mistakes, he always feels like, oh my God, I believe in one adage that no one is perfect. And also, it's not different from any from other people's philosophy. I mean, points of view. They always say no one's perfect, but it's still at another, at another sentence. Yeah, at another sentence with one comma and goes next, and it say, but we have to know that thing very clear. Yeah, I mean everything, but everything that we know must be clear. Must be clear means it's going to be used officially in the future. So that kind of subject will be used in order to make money too. Okay, so I want to finish my first sessions of YouTube today, and I will speak more relevant to my self introduction. So that's all for it. Thank you for listening to me. Goodbye.